40.
Number 1.
39.
38.
37.
36.
35.
34.
33.
32.
31.
30. 29.
28. 27.
26.
25.
24.
23.
21.
20.
19.
18.
17. 16.
15.
14.
13.
12.
11.
10. 9. 8.
7.
6.
5.
4.
3.5.
3.
2.
1.
Hey, Rocky, you want to see me pull a show out of my hat? Nothing up my sleeve. Presto!
Good evening and welcome to the Mouthwash Talk Show. I bet some of you are watching the Pacers game. I'll be giving you updates because it's in the first quarter. It looks like second quarter. Let's see what we got going on here right now. I've not watched one dribble of basketball. It's 38. 54-40. The Knicks are putting it on the Pacers, but I think they're saving their best for the second half. But anyway, we thank you for joining in because this is going to be a much more exciting than watching guys run up and down the floor dribbling the basketball. It's been a crazy week for us trying to get stuff going here, and I see we got our audience chiming in here. If you got any questions for our guest tonight, Becky Cash, which we're going to talk about the last session at the Indiana legislature and see how her first term as a state representative is going. If it's all those hopes and dreams she had hoped for during her running for the office, because I always say, if you win your election, what happens when the dog catches a car? You actually have to do something. So that we're going to talk about that. But hey, next week we have Adam Wren. He has threatened to come on our show. He's a writer for Political. I don't know much other than that, but Becky has some comments about Adam and his comments about her. So we'll talk about that real quick when we get her on here. But Lucy's tired. She's been hanging potted baskets or something all day, and she says, I'm going to sit another one out. So we'll wish her that she gets some rest. I think the 10 kids are finally got the best of her, and she needs some rest and relaxation. So we have that going, and then we have Brad, and I hope Tiffany comes on. I mean, Tiffany's sort of like Bigfoot. You just like every once in a while you see her, and then she's here and she's there, and she comes on. So if you do have any questions, go ahead and ask them. One of the things, we have small talk tonight, and I did watch it on there, and we're going to talk about this heated battle for lieutenant governor, and Becky might have some thoughts on that too. But we have a couple people running. Actually, the governor, he didn't really think that Micah would be his pick, so he picked somebody else, and so we'll see. We're going to talk about. I got polls here. We did polls on Marion County politics. We got all sorts of stuff tonight. So hey, let's get to it. I'm going to bring Becky on, and Becky's got her virtual background going because she's in her husband's office, and apparently he's not as neat and tidy as guys. He's be out his garage with the tools and everything hanging out, all that. So Becky Cash, how are you doing this evening?
I am good. His office is definitely a hot mess, but I told John, I'm like, don't let people think this is my state rep house, because
oh yeah, go on.
The mamas out there know that we like have a corner where we point the camera to pretend like it's all clean. That's true, right. Apparently.
I like the trick where you do the cleaning for the cleaning lady, or the cleaning person.
Yeah, I grew up with that.
Yeah, let's clean up the house. The cleaning person's coming. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, that's always a fun deal. So anyway, Becky, it's been a minute since you've been on. I know you were scheduled to come on before the primary, but we got really backed up with primary people. We actually had 4 people running for U.S. House on one show, and that was almost more than I could handle. I'm not my pea-sized brain. I had to use both sides of that pea on my pea-sized brain. It was a lot of fun. But so let's tell some of our viewers a little bit about yourself, where your district is, and how your primary went, and just bring us up to speed.
All right. Well, I'm Becky Cash. Sorry, I had a little something flying there. I'm Becky Cash. I am the state representative for House District 25, which is most of Zionsville, all of Whitestown, a third of Brownsburg, and 2 precincts in Lebanon. And yes, it matters. So I like it is a very economically diverse area. We have everything from some of your poorest to your richest in the state here in the district. And it's kind of awesome because I get to think of everybody when I'm voting. So I'm finishing up my first term in the Indiana House. I ran to protect the children, families, and individuals of Indiana, medical freedom, constitutional rights, lower taxes. So hopefully I'll get a chance to put forward a property tax bill in this next legislative session. And so I'm a mom. I have 6 kids. 4 of them have special and medical needs, very big in parental rights, the right to make the medical, educational, religious decisions that are best for your family. And basically, unless you are physically, sexually, or another way abusing your children.
Right.
No business in any of that. So that's who I am. My primary, I did not have a primary. I was 3 days away from potentially having one, but God took care of that because I will have.
Did you strike them with lightning or something? Or how we take care of that? Is like we don't pay a visit and you're not running.
Yeah, the person who was talking about running called someone and said, "Well, I think I have some housework to do and some repairs and such." And I guess I'm gonna call that God because we'll have an intense general in the district that I'm in. It's a 56 to 58% district, depending on who you ask. I won my first election by 53% in an open district. So
yeah, get the nails out to bite. Well, you know, Zionsville and Whitestown is just growing like crazy. I've actually done a lot of masonry work up there in Zionsville and and out in that area. So even some up in Lebanon with the Methodist Children's Home.
I was going to say, don't say with the LEAP project.
No, yeah, I didn't want to bring that up. We got a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah, you don't want to work on that.
That LEAP is it's got some attention, doesn't it? It's got some attention. If you have a spare 75 billion gallons of water laying around, I know somebody that would buy it. So
yeah, you know, I'll be really honest. We had some people at the State House towards the end of session talking about the water. And I literally said, where have you guys been for the last 2 years? Boone County has been dealing with this LEAP project for multiple years. And all of a sudden someone said, oh, we might take, well, I'm going to be a little controversial. So apparently it's a natural resource until it enters a pipe or a reservoir. I don't know. But, you know, we're going to take this water and all of a sudden, like all HD double hockey sticks hit the roof. And I was like, well, good. But can you come down and because there's a lot more than water at stake with the LEAP project.
Yeah, well, you know, I think that it's a great concept with having, you know, Lilly here in Indianapolis and Purdue with their research. I mean, it's a great concept, but it seems like you're plopping it down on top of neighbors and people that have livelihoods and whatnot. So, yeah, that's how the government works. We're damn the torpedoes. We're going full speed ahead, but I'm glad you got to deal with that. I just have some issues.
Well, it's technically not in my district.
Oh, okay.
So Boone County is 2/3 of my district, but the LEAP project is further up in Mark Genda's district. And, you know, it goes into Brian Buchanan's Senate district and multiple other people. So, but it's definitely, it impacts us because what happens in one town carries over into others. I mean, it impacts everything from childcare. I literally, I'm just going to share, if you don't mind, but there's a nonprofit organization that has been desperately looking for a place to rent. It's a phenomenal nonprofit organization, and they finally found a place to rent. And then one of the contractors involved in the LEAP project went in overbid by 3 times the price per square footage of the place to rent. And so this nonprofit that is a Boone County nonprofit had to rent a place in Marion County right outside the district. These are
pricing people out.
Unforeseen consequences that have not been thought through, as well as childcare. Like, even if some of these companies that come in, build childcare for their employees, though I haven't heard whether that's going to happen, then they can pay the childcare providers in the area double to go in there. So then, I mean, there's just all these unforeseen things. So, I mean, the good thing is that, it could build opportunities for the schools. So I don't want to negate the potential good things. It just was
There's
done
a lot of
very
details.
wrong. I
There's
think
a lot of
everybody
details.
agrees that it was not done properly.
Yeah. Well, I see that our cast of characters are backstage. I see Brad's
Okay.
ready and that, but I got a quick question for you. We got Slick Witty on here. He always has pointed questions. He said, what's the best way to get a hold of the state rep? Phone or email? My state rep, Justin Moad, never returns my emails. Now, Becky,
I was
you
going
are
to
so
say
easy
it
to get.
depends on the state representative.
Okay, well, I think
So-
that answered that because he has not returned my phone call or even spoken to me in 5 years. So, but of course, I ran against him twice. I'll give him that, but you still can say hi, how you
Yeah,
doing?
but there's
right?
some people at the state house who you get riled up, who still respond to your phone calls, especially on the education committee. You have some people who will they'll still talk to you. But so for me, I literally
one
will
of your
be out.
loyal subjects. They said
I'll
you
be out
returned?
in the neighborhood and people will say, oh my gosh, thank you for responding to the letter I wrote you. Thank you for, and I'm like, yeah, that's my job.
Our theme here on the show, I guess I've sort of coined this, I don't know if the others agree, is 80% of why I'll vote for you is if I can actually talk to you and get a hold of you.
Yeah.
So, but you talked about property taxes, and I'm going to get Brad on here and Tiffany coming in. I think Tiffany's probably still in transit because she's a high pollutant politician like you. She's out.
Well, she's
rubbing
local
elbows.
government, so
there's
taxes with local government is always fun. But
I think she's out rolling up the sidewalks in Fishers because they roll them up at 9 every night. So that's how it is. But you're talking about the property taxes. We're going to have a property tax rally at the State House on June 22nd on the South Lawn at 11. And I know Mike Young's got a plan for stuff. Are you going to be working with? Are you coming up with a new plan, or what's the?
Well, I don't know what Mike Young's plan is, but I would love to talk with him about it. So, at the end of the day, interestingly, I will not give names, but I've had some legislators who've been around for a long time who recently asked me, are you hearing that property taxes might be unconstitutional? And I said, yes, yes, actually.
Wait a second. I got it. Lucy's not here, but taxation is theft.
That's right. That's right.
My thought is, well, my property taxes since 2020 have gone up 1,800%. Now I fixed up a few things around here. I know. I used to pay about 800. I'm paying.
Stop fixing up your house. You're appreciating it.
I know. Well, don't even give me start. But I have another person that sent me a message that talked about and lives in Meridian Woods here on the south side of Indy. I'm being priced out of my home. I've had it for 20 years. I could always afford that, but they put these $400 million referendums on, and we have 2 here in Wayne Township, and it's just they think that my house is their piggy bank. And I just think that at the best is double taxation. I already paid this tax when I bought the thing. So, but anyway, let me bring Brad on here. We'll get to this. Brad, are you ready back there? I see you got like some kind of background. Hold on. That's not going to work out. There we go. Let's do that.
Sorry. I have my friends with me today. So
yeah, you do. Oh, you do. I see you got all of back there.
Power.
Some of them aren't happy. That one guy.
Well, but they're showing their support. That's what's important.
What are they supporting for? Who is the guy in the blur?
They're just kissing the ring. Is all.
Okay.
I think
a lot of that. Yeah. Well, we got Becky Cash on here, and she didn't even have any chapstick for kissing the ring.
Yay!
So.
Hi.
I don't think we've met.
No. Very nice to meet you. Yeah,
really? You have not been on the show since Brad's been on? Wow,
no.
It's been a minute.
No, Brad replaced.
Who did you play? Oh, Ed. Oh, Ed, by the way, I think Spirit Airlines is getting ready to get bought. So,
and I think that I think Becky was supposed to speak at an ILF function at the State House. I think like 2 years, not this past year, but the year before. But I wanted to kind of touch on that too. But going back to should there be a law then about state reps holding like a town hall so many per year or something like that, so that they can be
You
publicly.
know, it's an interesting topic because
Hard
in the
feathered.
district where
Oh,
I
no,
live,
John, you can't say that. Like,
Oh,
well,
pitchforks.
in the district where I live, we are out and about all the time. I am surprised to find out that I have colleagues where they like the town, they don't do anything out there. So, gosh, I mean, you know, we want smaller government. So I don't know about an actual law, but I definitely think that legislators should be accessible. Now, here's the problem, right? Because they should be accessible and then people don't vote them out when they're not.
Yeah, they just keep rolling the. Well, we got that deal. Like
Yeah.
I said, we got that deal in a lot
yeah,
of
I
places.
don't have anything to respond with that. That's like, people are
Just-
people. They're
Right.
lazy, and you know, I'm one of them.
You're the first
We're
person
all-
who has brought up the idea of an actual law to require a certain number.
I mean,
I don't.
even
I
if
don't
it-
think I
even if
could
it's
get that
two,
through the caucus.
honestly, Becky, even if it's just two, like, I
Right.
swear, like, and it can be during like 4-H Fair Week or something like that, and a lot of candidates are usually out at that,
Yeah.
you know, those events most of the time, anyways. But I don't understand the fear of the constituents, and that's what it's really starting to feel like at a certain point. Is that, and then it angers us into either inaction, like, oh well, nobody can fix this, so nobody's gonna vote.
I actually wish they'd come and talk to me instead of being a keyboard warrior, because I'll say, hey, let's get on the phone. Hey, let's meet for coffee. Radio silence. But those are my haters. Believe it or not, I have some.
Well,
I'm not one of them, but like, I'm aware of some of them. So,
Do
well,
you live in my district?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
But I was at a Purple for Parents conference thing that you spoke at, too. I was holding up little protesting signs.
oh, well, I was at that too, Brad. That was at the State House with Jacques Boyens and some other people, right? Is that a Purple for Parents?
Oh, when I stood up there about the library bill.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
the
youth
librarian
manager at the Alexandria Monroe Public Library.
Oh, okay. Because I talked with like the Pike librarian. I talked with a lot of the librarians.
How, like, were you surprised at their anger or frustrations?
No, actually, I had really positive conversations I had very civil conversations with all of them. And I mean, we discussed the topics. Believe it, I don't know if you saw, but by the time the bill came through, the Indiana Library Federation went neutral on part of the bill. The School Board Association went neutral on part of the bill. I mean, I literally met with everybody and anybody on that bill, and it wasn't just tongue in cheek. I'm like, hey, let's come to the table. But I asked the lobbyists for the Indiana Library Federation. I'm like, please give me your amendments and such, and they wouldn't give me them.
Yeah,
so
that's one thing I noticed, because I've been down. I think I testified for one of the bills that you were involved with, and I was impressed with how much information you did gather. You could tell that you had invested a lot of thought in this. You weren't just carrying this bill, for example, like our fire department merger bill that was carried by somebody in Noblesville that was talking about the guy he wanted to get out of there as fast as he could get out of there. Please take it, please make it go away. But I noticed that you were very involved in that. So,
well, from my perspective, I still have people, they'll come to me and they'll say like, oh, there's this, socialist stuff in this book. I'm like, well, the bill doesn't have anything to do with that. Like, it's literally sexually explicit and obscene material as already defined in Indiana law. Like, it literally, I mean, half my family is Jewish. My great grandparents escaped the Holocaust, with their children. I don't want history removed. I don't want, like, even, Johnny has 2 moms or Susie has 2 dads. Like, none of that.
But they started moving books with, like, they moved the book Y out of the kids section at the Hamilton East Public Library.
Well,
I mean,
that was because they were. that wasn't because of the bill. That was Hamilton South.
No, but that's what I mean. I feel like a lot of these fears are being stoked by the same kind of groups and people like Rhonda Miller, and Jim Toms, I guess I would say. And so I feel like that it's just going to be another round of it next time too.
I don't know. Hey, Becky, did that bill pass? I can't remember. It got out of the House, but did it get out of the Senate? It did get passed.
Yeah.
But it got,
it got put in a different bill.
Right. Okay. I thought that's how.
Yeah. At the last minute without anybody.
That's how they do it, Brad.
About
they
it.
Were, but I will say they were very like they announced it at the press conference right before it. Like they were very clear, especially
nobody could go down to go. We didn't know anything about it, like at that point.
Brad, I took 4 hours of testimony on the language in that bill. The only thing that changed between the 4 hours of testimony that actually they were shocked when they came out because I handled all of the 4 hours of testimony. The only thing that changed was we removed the public labor. So there was nothing like that was stuck in, like the bill was intact and I didn't have any control over the fact that it ended up in something else. Obviously, it wasn't my bill that it ended up in. I know John was like, hey, stop sticking it in other stuff. But
yes, that's more of the stuff. Yeah.
But I mean, as a freshman representative, I was impressed that you were able to get something done. And I like the fact that you talked about the property taxes, because I think that's really affecting a lot of people. I mean, they just keep reassessing mine. My house is mysteriously worth $15,000 more because it's cloudy. I don't know why, but this is.
Yeah. So what do you think about a bill, hypothetically, a bill that would, and let me finish, freeze property taxes where they're at completely for at least 2 years, but I'd like to actually see them reduced. And then I heard, maybe it was Mike Young said, no more than a 5% increase a year. And I'm like, well, I don't think there should be an increase for quite a while, but I'm thinking 3% max. I've had some people suggest the idea that we freeze property taxes at the price that someone bought the house at. But even with that, I don't like that someone can be retired, live in a house for 20, 30 years, and they're have $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 worth of taxes. Like you own your home, but you don't really own your home because the government can come and take it at any point in time. I mean,
not if you have your guns.
Yeah, come try to get my house, pal.
That's why they're right. Like,
yeah.
I'll throw rocks at you if I have to. Well, and Mike Young's proposal, I probably mess it up, but he wants to take the sales tax and the property tax. It wants to go away, but if you have a 5.5% sales tax and a tax on services, like I'm a bricklayer, so I come out and lay bricks on your house, so I get taxed.
I don't like taxes on services.
Anyway, it's just like, well, and the argument is, well, then your 7% is coming down to 5.5%, so it's going to wash out. Well, I'm just going to charge the customer. You can tax me all you want, but I'm going to charge you.
Yeah, it's going to be Biden's fault and inflation.
My thing is, I think that paying a tax is good, but I think the up and down thing, you cannot plan for it, and I think there's got to be. I think it's sort of a lazy way that government tries to fund their stuff. We got referendums. It is. It's just. No, and I know I wouldn't even want to guess how much Marion County has increased, because everyone I know, they've gone around and done this reassessment off of Zillow and the comps and all that, and these out-of-state companies have bought up a lot of houses for more than you'd pay for them, and then they raise the rent, and then all the values go up, which is great. My house is worth more, but I'm have to sell.
So doesn't the local government have? Shouldn't, I don't want to say doesn't. Shouldn't the local government have a surplus from the increase on the buying of goods, fast food and such during COVID, and the increase on the tax revenue from the increased cost of goods? Brad, you shook your head no.
I mean, I think people took total advantage of everything during COVID. So I don't know that you could.
Oh, they were
trust any of
giving
those
out
kind of
money.
numbers. So I'm not.
But what are they spending it on? Because they've had the ESSER funds, they've had the
It doesn't like they put it into funds where they don't have to track the money.
right.
I had to make payroll. I mean, that's
Wow, Becky, you said right to that. Oh
dear.
that was
Brad,
so demoralizing. I thought you were gonna.
What'd you mess up, Brad? Well,
Well,
Oh,
let's.
I mean, I'm not local government, but it's very frustrating. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I spent an entire day in one of the public schools in my district last week, and all I heard, I should say all I heard, I heard a lot, but it was, so what do you think that Representative Thompson is going to propose with property taxes? Like, that we wouldn't have had to pass a referendum if this didn't happen back then and such. And now, like, we're dependent upon referendums. And I mean, and don't get me wrong, if the local people want to pass a referendum, then I think
it's
that
keeping up with Joneses, though. It's you see another high school with a new football stadium or a new high school or a new basketball gym,
right.
and that's
Right.
where
I
a lot
don't
of it
sound like a
goes,
typical
too.
politician yet, do I?
No. Well, and that's one of the
but I mean,
questions.
I probably should filter myself.
No, I love that though. Like, ideally, yes, that would all be handled properly, but I don't see it going that way. People get involved.
Yep. All right. 1 second. I see Tiff's ready to come on here, so let's bring Tiffany on. We'll put the Brad.
That
let's put
local
the
government
politicians
people
down
stealing
below.
all our money. Oh, sorry, Tiffany.
Yeah. Let's blame Tiff.
It's going up everywhere.
We should have been blaming Tiffany for the property taxes the whole time. It's terrible.
Right?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
So-
Hey,
so-
I'm newly elected, so I'm still getting the lay of the land.
Yeah. Well, I told him, Tiffany, that it was your job to roll up the sidewalks at 9:00. That's why you're late.
Well, Fishers is a lot like Disneyland and Disney World, where we want everybody to have that magical experience. So at night,
That was Brad.
I
Brad
thought-
literally just said,
I thought it
keeping
was
up with
because-
the Joneses.
I thought it was because
So at night we do hose off the sidewalks and the streets so that it can just be that amazing. So
I thought it was like Disneyland because the government's Mickey Mouse.
Don't forget glitter. Do you have glitter on your streets too?
we do special occasions. That's what we use to mark the lanes. We have glitter to mark the lanes.
It's in the concrete embedded.
Oh, you don't ever want me making decisions.
See, Brad, this is why property taxes are so high. They put gold on the streets and things.
I can see that, John. I hate glitter though. Like that's a rule in my library.
We have that same rule at the art center.
They know not to.
No glitter, not even in the kids.
Oh, you don't even want to know how hard it
I'm
is
the
to
head of
clean
the
that
kids
up.
department.
Oh
No,
my
I love
gosh.
glitter.
It's
no, and like the kids all know that I hate glitter, so they make it a whole thing too. It's pretty terrible.
Well, you know what, Brad? It sounds like you need a glitter bomb.
No,
Oh,
I
dear.
swear to God,
Oh.
Tiffany, like, please do not. I didn't
Where
open a
are
package.
you in Muncie? You're in Muncie?
No, don't
No,
worry about it.
Alexandria. You don't know where he is.
I didn't open a package for 3 weeks because I didn't know where it came from, and I thought it was a glitter bomb.
Oh,
But
no.
it was really just a package,
It
and I
just-
forgot what I ordered. So
You need a glitter bomb. Glitter bomb for Brad.
no.
So, all right. I got a question for Becky. I know I asked you this when you came on when you were first in the legislature. I said, so what is what is the most surprising thing that you've run across, and then what's the most probably the greatest accomplishment or the thing that you were actually able to beat down the wall on?
I banned all books in the state of Indiana. Just kidding. Sorry, Brad.
I helped.
I'm just kidding.
No, that was good. Yeah, and Tiffany helped. That's
I'm just kidding.
You little helpers.
Gosh, it's funny. My biggest surprise, I'm a fast learner. And learning how to, I guess, get things done. Just the rules of that were probably like, as far as learning, I mean, I don't want to say I knew what I was getting into, but I've spent the last 18 years, fighting for parents with kids with special needs to be able to, make the medical decisions they wanted, and testifying at the state house and making phone calls. So, I mean, by no means did I know like everything as far as like how to write a bill and all of that stuff. But I did go in there ready to work. So what was the second question?
It's like, what was the best thing? What's the best thing you got done? I mean, what's the most effective? Just anything on there. I mean, I've already mentioned that you got a bill. You got
Well,
something in
that's
the bill.
not, that's not nice. That's not nice. I mean, yes, it was for me, like, yes, I would say that in my freshman year, being able to get amendments in, there were other amendments that we were able to get through. Like, I didn't put it through, but Representative Sweet and I went in there to call an amendment to make it so that you couldn't be denied the ability to be foster parents or adoptive parents in the state of Indiana based on your own biological children's vaccine records. Like, people were being denied the ability to adopt or foster because they didn't get their kids a chickenpox vaccine. And so we were able to get an amendment in a bill freshman year to be able to do that. I didn't come kind of with the list, but there were actually several amendments that we got through. I got an amendment on the Governor's Health Commission that I still voted no on. That bill, huge amounts of money and so many other issues. Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't go in.
Basically,
I thought I would be fought at every corner with everything I tried to do. And maybe because there were other legislators that were, maybe they were like, okay, well, we don't want her to storm the castle, so we'll work with her. But I don't know if I'm answering your question.
Yeah, I think I'm going to answer.
My biggest surprises came from the outside. My biggest surprise was actually.
I mean, I've seen some people that have not been effective. So who would be if you had to pick one person to work with in the House of Reps and the Houses or the Senate, which one would that be? I'm putting you on the spot here. So who's your go-to person in the Senate? Who would that be?
What?
Jerry Torr.
Jerry Torr. Well, he's leaving.
I know.
Are you asking me or Tiffany?
No, I was asking.
You're asking me.
She was helping with an answer.
Senate, in the Senate, I would say Tyler Johnson is great to work with. And Senator Buchanan, he's actually my senator. He has been really great to work with. They are two people who have said, like, when I have bills to send over there, that they'll pick it up and, help me fight for those. So I would definitely say the two of them. There's others, not a ton, but
we're going for favorites. We're going for best here.
Right. And then in the House, well, obviously, Representative Larissa Sweet is my favorite representative to work with. I will tell you, like, I do feel that we have a great freshman class. There are many in the freshman class who we've clicked and are very like-minded in a lot of ways. But Larissa Sweet has been great to work with. Craig Haggard has been really great to work with. Kendall Culp. As far as, not all topics, but you kind of find the people who are aligned on certain topics and who's not aligned on other ones. And I will say Donna Shively she was really a mentor to me as far as she had my back. So interestingly, like you'll see I vote no on quite a few Republican bills. And there have been a couple of times where I voted no and she knew I was really struggling with something. And even though she voted yes, she would look at me and say, good for you. And so that has really been really good for me because I was going to do it anyways. But then to know that, like, hey, you know what? You do what you have to do.
Yeah. Cool.
I mean, I'm not implying I obviously haven't gotten 95% of my bills through. So it's definitely not all rosy and such, but for those watching, John did ask me who my favorites were to work with. So
yeah, that's right. If you want to get on Becky's favorite list, straighten out, people. Well, it's better than our rep. He's gotten one thing through in 12 years. So
do you and Brad have the same rep?
No. I got actually, we got Slick Whittier in the audience. He's running against him, but he's in a firmly Democrat district that we're gonna have to have a crowbar and dynamite to get him out of it. So but
Well,
he's
Brad,
very
did you
ineffective.
say that Moed is your?
No, that's mine. That's ours. That's mine
He's
here.
yours. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. 'Cause I was like, well, he should be.
He doesn't do. He won't even speak to me. It's that's a whole different show. We're not talking about. We're talking
Yeah.
about Becky Cash, the great
Sorry.
Becky Cash today. Hey, I'm going to do this because we got to talk about this lieutenant governor thing. I want to get everybody's opinion on this. So, and believe it or not, the small talk talks a little bit about that. So let's go ahead and play Mark Small here. And I listened to it, and I don't even know if I understand what he's talking about. Maybe you guys can help me. So here you go, Mark Small and Small Talk.
Hi, I'm Mark Small. This is Small Talk. Micah Beckwith has launched a campaign to be lieutenant governor of the state of Indiana. This made no sense. The lieutenant governor isn't really a candidate as such in a primary. The lieutenant governor has to be nominated in Indiana by a party's convention. Made no sense. Then, in an online ad, Beckwith is quoted as saying he won't be a rubber stamp as lieutenant governor. There's nothing in the lieutenant governor's job that would give the lieutenant governor an ability to act with a veto and stop people from doing something and be a rubber stamp. And then it all fell into place. This deviousness. Beckwith seems old school in a lot of ways. But I look at some of the things that he posts, and there are sexual references, such as sex and Jesus. And then the meaning of the rubber came in. You'd have to go back to 1960s ads for tires where the rubber meets the road, but it's also a double entendre for condoms. And I thought more research is necessary, but I think maybe we've arrived at a point at which none of this makes sense at all, unless Beckwith is doing this as a dirty joke. He's very subtle. He's using language in different ways to try and get one past the voters. We need to find out if, in his conversations with God, if God mentions anything about political policies being of a prophylactic nature. Then we might know for sure. Mark Small, Small Talk.
Maybe you could decode that for me, Tiffany. But Pacers update. They made a run here in the third quarter, 9-1 in the third quarter. It's 63-70. So we'll keep giving you that update. You don't need to watch that. It's just the same old thing. Basketball goes to the net. This is much more exciting. So stay here and listen to this. So Tiffany, what's he talking about? The rubber prophylactics? What's that? You know anything about that?
No, I did not know about that being a double entendre. Like,
I didn't think that either. I'm just a good old Catholic girl. I have no idea what he's talking about.
You got one kid. You're not that good at Catholic. I'm sorry. Now, Becky, Becky.
Wait, John.
no.
John, I married the wrong man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was not a true Bigfoot. That's all I got to
John,
say.
you never say that to a woman. You don't know whether or not they haven't been able to have more children.
Okay, well, that's why I haven't gone any further than I have.
DNA is so good. If I had married the right man, I'm telling you, I would have had a whole football team full of kids.
Yeah. So Becky, what about this lieutenant governor thing?
I can't decode what he said, but I was cracking up. Like, I'm going to go back and watch that, and it was hilarious.
Well, he sent me another one on education because, the Cassie, say it out loud, Cassie Jackson was piling on him tonight too on her show. So it's like, I didn't want to feel sorry for Micah, but he did give me one on education. And I'm like, this one's more exciting. Plus we could, transition into this lieutenant governor thing here that it's getting to be interesting. That
does it matter that Braun
oh yeah, it's going to be a battle, Brad. I went to Julie McGuire's meet and greet last night, and all the people were there. So they're lining them up. You see that they had Diego Morales and Dan Elliott come out and already do that. And basically Mike is doing what they did. So I don't understand how this is working.
Wait,
so this
they're not in. So Diego's not endorsing Micah?
Nope.
Where was the meet and greet?
It was at Gallagher's on the south side because she's Southsider. She actually was. This will excite you, Tiffany, because she was actually the treasurer of the Perry Township here on the south side GOP club only 3 years ago. Only 3 years ago. And then
Wow.
John Jacob, they decided it was time for him to exit. And so they gave her, and Julie's a great person. I love her. Her husband's
She
a
works in
roofer.
the Senate. She did something with policy in the Senate right before she ran.
Oh yeah, she's done stuff. I mean, but she's
Wow.
done. She's been around, and I mean, she's she's a good person. I like her. I like both of the people. I like Micah. I like her. So and her husband's a roofer. He's a blue collar guy like me. Well, I got red collar on tonight, but we were talking roofing and masonry last night, just like we were in the shop. So
Mark Smaltz wasn't wrong. I mean, the lieutenant governor they don't have any veto power. They can cast a deciding vote in the Senate as president, and they can, speak out against the governor. I mean, it doesn't carry authority, so to speak.
Right. I mean, you could use it as a bully pulpit. I mean, you could use it as a position.
Right.
It's like.
Well, but so how did Suzanne Crouch? How was she able to, or take that and move it into a stepping stone almost? Like, I don't get that then.
Well, I mean, and Suzanne's she started out down in Evansville at the grassroots level, worked her way up. There was no place else for her to go but to governor, really. I mean, that's why I felt bad. And she's a nice lady too. I've spoken to her several times, and she's smart, she's sharp, and I just think that she got connected with Holcomb. And people thought that it's going to be Holcomb.
Which is really too bad, because I'm going to tell you that, and Holcomb's people, they said it on election day. She hasn't talked to Holcomb in 6 months, I think, because she was calling him out on the FSSA and the disability stuff. And I think they barely talked in the last 3 years. I know some additional information from people that were shared. I think she was speaking out, but she wasn't using it as a bully pulpit. And I mean, I'm just going to be, I think she was too conservative for the governor.
Oh yeah.
I will tell you, when you talk about people not responding, Suzanne Crouch responds to every email I send her, and this was when I first started. This wasn't like just in the last few months, like, I want your vote. I didn't endorse anybody in the governor's race, but what I said to people was, I'm going to tell you, there's nobody else at the executive or that level that will respond and get answers for me. And, I really respected her for that. I saw her all the time at the State House, as opposed to others who I never saw at the State House. So, I mean, but yeah, so
here's a question from one of our viewers. That Crouch stood by and said nothing while Holcomb kept us locked down. But as we said, really, you could use it as a bully pulpit. But what if you go, look at it like this. You got the governor, lieutenant governor. The governor is going to be the boss of the lieutenant governor. You'd think would you want to make your boss mad by undercutting him?
Well, I want to be clear, because I don't know who just said that, but I am not defending what happened during COVID at all. I think everybody should have screamed from the rooftop, like, hey, wait a minute, what is going on here? Had she screamed that, people need to know it wouldn't have done anything. But yes, she could have spoken out. And I wasn't there. I'm definitely not defending anything that Dr. Box or anybody else did at all.
Yeah. That was.
I feel like nobody knew anything during COVID, and I feel like we still need to remember that when we look back upon it. Like, everybody
did as it went more. Even Fauci was speaking out. Like, it just went too long.
Curtis, in Curtis Hill's defense, he did speak out. He said, "Hey, you're going to try to do these laws and these ordinances and whatnot. No bueno. We're not doing the mask rules and the vaccine mandate." So he did speak out, and how'd that work out for him? He got last. So yeah, it's easy to be a Monday morning quarterback now, right, Brad? You could.
What does Micah want with the position then?
I think he wants I think that
he wants the bully pulpit, and
there you
that's
go.
What is upsetting to a lot of people.
What do you mean by bully pulpit? What
That's
do you-
just a position
what is he
to
doing?
put
Is he
out your
What, is he going to beat up on the farmers? I mean, like, what do
No,
you?
he's just going to drive around and make little videos, and that's what he's going to do.
drive around like little fit. That's funny, Brad. I didn't.
Videos
He
about
does do that.
Whatever is on his mind that day.
But
It's going to become a talk show, and it's going to be the Micah Beckwith show. That's the end game about this.
Is that
Everyone sees what Trump is doing or has done with, reality
Well,
star.
I think the lieutenant
politicians.
governor, I do believe maybe ideally a voice for the governor to the Senate.
yeah, I think that's.
I mean, in statute, because I looked it up. So in statute, the lieutenant governor is in charge of agriculture. They're in charge of tourism. They're in charge of
President of the Senate.
economic development and one other thing. And
The
then
Senate.
what?
The Senate.
No, but there's a fourth major
What?
department, and then they're also they preside over the mental health roundtable. At first, I thought maybe that was just Suzanne's, but it looks like it might actually be
part of the job
in statute, and then with developmental disabilities. So I mean, they have it's really actually a really big job to. I mean, agriculture.
That sounds like a lot of positions
Housing,
right there.
Becky?
What?
Is it housing, Becky? Because I know that.
Housing. Yes, it's housing.
Yeah, because
Housing.
there
I
was
mean, it's
for the down payment assistance program and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I asked Micah, I said, do you have like any background with agriculture? He said he's fourth generation farming. So he said he does have a back. Because I asked that question. I'm like, there's an actual job here. And apparently the Indiana lieutenant governor is in charge of more than any other lieutenant governor in the nation. So I think Micah, well, and the comment about Ron choosing
that.
What?
Can we change that? Like, I mean, I don't know. That seems like a lot for that person, and we got to get the right. What if we get the wrong one?
Crouch has been doing it for almost 8 years. What do we need to change? A woman's been doing it just fine, and she's not complaining.
Oh, here we go. Here, I'm not going to say anything about how many kids anybody's got. Okay, I'm just not going to.
I don't want the job.
I'm not taking that lame ass bait. Okay.
Well, I don't know why. Why do we need to change the job? I mean, like, certainly no one's complained about the lieutenant governor in the last 7
Well,
years.
I'll tell you what. I so far on June.
This
June
makes
11th.
it scarier to me that Micah would possibly get it.
What?
Here we go. It's gone. Here, wait. Jennifer Byer says Micah wants to wake up the populace. Spiro says challenge the status quo. So I would say, yeah, like Brad.
And
he doesn't.
Who doesn't?
No, go ahead, Becky. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, I've been looking this up. So it actually is in statute and in the Indiana Constitution that actually the lieutenant governor, it's become status quo that the lieutenant governor is chosen by the governor and then they choose who they want. However, in the actual Constitution, they actually are independently elected by the delegates at the convention. And I do want to comment, though, if Braun had gone to Micah said from the beginning he was running independently as a Republican, not as an independent, but he was running as a SALT. And so he implied from the beginning that he actually didn't want whoever the governor was to choose him because he wants the delegates to have a choice at the convention. So I don't know if Braun had come to him, if he would have taken it, like, because that was kind of thing. Well, would Curtis Hill choose him? Would Suzanne Crouch choose him? Would Jamie have chosen him? We know,
I can answer that one.
So what you're saying is that, like, Micah wants to be there purely because the people and the delegates want him there.
Yeah. Well,
that's why he kept getting everybody to be a delegate. That's why he kept, he was hammering everybody he knew to go out and become a delegate.
Brad, are we upset with Micah because he understood the assignment, he understood the rules, and he found
it is.
He's not. Wait a minute. We've had people on this show who've only had one primary under their belt. They come in here whining because they can't run for office, or they talk about how they couldn't vote and all these other things that happen. But Micah, he's a Republican in good standing. He knows the rules, and he did what he's allowed to do. And we've had a lot of people on this show who've asked for waivers, and they've been sad and mad and angry, and they're probably not even anymore because they couldn't get somebody to do something special for them because they wanted to bend the rules. Micah's not bending the rules.
Yeah, well,
no, Micah's exploiting the system.
I don't know if exploiting is the right word, but he is working the system.
How much must pay in taxes? What's that?
No, but what I'm saying too is like, as just like a regular constituent, like look at how many empty seats there were. You know, like from either side, both sides have empty seats. Like
empty
that
seats
is
where?
that was
I'm sorry,
like for delegates and stuff. For
not,
like
not Republican
no,
this time. There is zero.
That's what I mean. Not
but
this
there
time.
were. You're right, Brad.
Yeah,
there were.
Yeah, there were, and that's what I mean. I think that's what Micah's been prepping for this for such a long time, and it's hilarious because like I feel like I've been calling this out for a really long time, and watching Mark get amped up about it now, I'm like, yeah, he's already going to be at the goal line.
So,
he'd already done all
Mark has been amped up about this for a long time. I mean,
so Brad, why are you so upset? Are you so upset? Why are you so upset? Why are you so mad, baby? What's wrong?
He doesn't like Mike.
I don't know. It's that he is going to use it as a bully pulpit, and I feel like he's going to be.
I mean, so you're going to feel sad
because I don't agree with so much of what Micah thinks or is.
But if he doesn't have any power, but if as you said, he doesn't have any power as lieutenant governor, I mean,
but he has an influential power. Like he doesn't, he may not
influence. He's a political influencer already.
He's a pastor. He's already got that.
Like that's what I don't get. I think what bothers me about like certain politicians is they want to play like a fame role, but then they also want to play. I've heard one politician said something about, oh, I was living rent free in their head. And I'm like, no, you are an elected official. That's why you're in their head. Like that it's not
living rent free.
I can one up that. I'm paying property taxes in somebody's head. That's a lot more than rent.
No, you are literally paying property taxes.
On that. Oh, Pacers update. The Knicks made a little bit of a run. It's about 22 points now, 64-86. So if you're watching the game, it's over. Just come on over and watch our show here. So
who's winning?
The Knicks are winning 86-64, but it's still third quarter. Pacers still, getting going here. The refs have not.
Dude, Pacers were kicking. Yeah, Pacers kicked the crap out of them last time.
Yeah, they're probably getting paid back this time. So that's
Brad, the only thing I want to comment about what you're saying about Micah is I don't think he's hidden anything you have said as far as.
No, he hasn't.
He hasn't. I think he's been this is what I'm doing.
That is what is upsetting to me is that he's doing it in broad daylight, and the constituents and the elective.
You make it sound like dirty books on the shelf in the children's section, right?
Well, that's what Mark Smaltz said. Mark Smaltz said it was prophylactics.
The prophylactics.
And you don't even want to hear the Cassie comments. It just goes down from there. But hey, you may have a chance.
Are we mad because Micah's working his plan?
No. Like, I mean, plan wise, it's genius. Like he is. It's like.
Pinky in the brain.
He has tricked everybody. Like the defense is all looking this way.
But no, we're watching him pick up the fumble and walk into the end zone.
Well, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting.
Okay, so
I have heard people say
Micah's
he's absolutely going to win, and I've heard people say that Julie is absolutely going to win.
It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight.
I only have one vote, and I'm just going to kind of watch it play out.
Yeah,
they better hope that we don't have a third candidate and it has to go multiple rounds. You know what happens when it goes multiple rounds?
Oh yeah.
Somebody gets under this thing. Is this like a live convention kind of deal?
Oh yeah, it's live.
Well, we do it behind smoke and mirrors, and we juggle the snake.
That's what I want. Like, yeah.
Hey, Tiffany, don't tell him about the snake handling. Don't tell him about how we do that snake handling and all that stuff. And will come out.
Tiffany, is it going to be at the Fisher's dome thing?
No, it's at the fairgrounds. It's like 1,800
maybe we'll
people.
host it one year. Maybe we should put that on the agenda to host.
You got to start pushing for that.
Yeah, thank you for that.
So on June 11th, mark your calendars. Julie McGuire, Micah Beckwith's going to be on the show for June 11th. That's the Tuesday before the thing.
Oh,
so.
both of them?
We'll do them separate, Becky. Like they'll have each 20 or so minutes each. So to come on, and if there's a third person, we'll have them too.
Sponsorships. How are we going to profit off of this?
I don't know. We got to figure out something.
I
We need to
got a
start
raise,
making
Tiffany.
something.
Ha ha ha.
You got a raise?
Yeah, but 0 times 4 is still 0. So.
Yeah, half a
You can get a raise. You're up in the corner. Well, you're up in the corner.
Yeah. I don't know how to
Hey, John, I want to tell you that my 12-year-old just walked in. You guys weren't on in the beginning, but I had to find a background because my husband's office was such a wreck. And my 12-year-old just walked in and said, "That is not our house." So
yeah, we can see her.
That is not my state representative house. It's just my
yeah,
background.
girl. Becky, you've had a really good freshman term. Look at that.
Yeah.
Moving on.
No.
And then need a funnel for all that money.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe from Narnia.
Stop. It's a live show. Stop.
That's okay.
We're getting ready to have another guest. Oh yeah.
Brad, did you just hear she was reading The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and Percy Jackson? We have so many books in our house. We could be a library.
I love that. That's
We'll
yeah.
need 1,500
Okay,
books in
here's a library and going out, honey.
in a building for the library.
That's awesome.
You gotta love kids. Oh,
Yeah, that's great.
She lives at the new Whitestown Library. She's like, I'm 12 now. You can drop me off and pick me up in 3 hours.
Brad, is that allowed?
Awesome.
Brad, is that allowed?
Yeah, at that age, yes.
It's
like
eight and under is usually like our cutoff.
8?
I think for our town, yeah. But that's the thing.
Tiffany, they're safe in a library.
It's a family place. It's not
just not
like
the Hamilton
Indianapolis where your kids will get mugged
Yeah, it's
and
like
shot.
if we need to raise it, we will. But
8?
So
She
Becky,
leaves home at 8.
I was driving tractors when I was 8. Just give it a break.
All right, I paused
Becky,
it.
what have you noticed? How much? Because this is definitely Mike has gone out and rabble raised some people up. He's got some people waked up here. And have you noticed that more? Wait, I know. Making up words again, Tiffany. Quiet.
Have I noticed that he's woken people up?
Wakened them, whatever. And,
I don't know.
People are more involved now, or do you?
I don't know. Charles Bookwalter said I woke up Boone County, so I'm not giving Micah credit.
Okay, well that's what I'm saying, and not just him, but I was using him as an example. You, and I know that we've gotten PCs here in Marion County, and I'm very surprised at how many people are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they're ready to do something, but they don't know what to do, and they don't have direction from our party, and which leads me to our survey.
So now, John, you're John Sharpton now?
Who's that? I don't even know who John Sharpton is. I'm John Schmitz. That's what the thing says right over here. But so I asked a question on people over politics. Now, okay, Brad fell out. Brad's gone.
Yeah, John Sharpton, that happens.
He left his friends.
So people over politics is on Facebook. We got 975 people on there. I need 1,000 people. So if you're in our audience, you're watching this thing, go to Facebook, people over politics, and join the darn group. Because we put these wonderful surveys on there. This week's question was, and it's on Twitter too. You can follow us on Twitter.
Called X,
whatever. It's still Deer Creek to me. Hoosier Dome. Got to go down to Hoosier Dome. Here's the question: do you think the GOP leadership desires to grow and improve the party in Marion County? And on our Twitter thing, it was 5% yes, 8% not sure. And then we had 55%, it's a club and you ain't in it. And then, so I'm sorry, that was the thing. It was, Twitter or X was 0% yes, 80% it's a club and you ain't in it, and 12% not sure. Facebook was 5% yes, 8% not sure, 55% it's a club and you ain't in it, and 35% no. So basically about 95% of the people that we surveyed think that the GOP has given up on Marion County. So what says anybody about that?
Oh, you guys are talking about one county?
Well, I mean, that's
like one county. Like
it's the biggest county in the whole state, Brad.
Most popular.
Yeah, but it's like the whole state is red. Like, look at the state.
Well,
it's like
all the people in Marion County are seeing red, so we need to get them voting red, right, Tiffany?
Yeah. What you said. That's John Sharpton right there.
Is that John Sharpton? I don't know who it is. Now I'm gonna look him up and see who this guy is. So
His name's
So what-
Alex Clifton.
So what do you think about that, Becky or Brad or whoever? Somebody jump in there.
Well, are you surprised by the answers?
I am. My conspiracy theory is going to have something to do with this, but we're going to have to wait for that.
When you look at when they redrew the boundaries, like even like I think the 5th went further north into like red area, and I think Andre Carson's district came up higher to like the boundary. So I think in a lot of ways I feel like people who make decisions are kind of like, you know what? And then
so the Andre Carson in the census in 2010, they drew him down into Perry Township, Franklin Township, the more GOP, to make him vulnerable. But what happened was the 5th started turning a little more purplish, so they ended up moving it back up to protect the 5th seat. And I'll give the Democrats credit in Marion County. They redrew the city county council districts to be better. They didn't really gerrymander them too much. They had to add one in to the south side because there was more population there, which was more Republican. But honestly, they cleaned up a lot of the lines. I mean, there were some things that went all over the place. So
John, what was wrong with purplish? What was wrong with the 5th being?
Nothing's wrong. Well, if you're a red, you don't want purple, and if you're a blue, you don't want purple either. So
purple people, like not purple for parents. Not
that's
those
why
people.
I got purple.
Why are you discriminating
lots
against
of, lots of alliteration?
Oh my god!
Why are you discriminating against purple people?
Purple Catholics.
Why can't all the purple people count?
Yeah,
listen, I'm not the one that was redrawing the districts because of the purple people.
We called them purple suitors.
That wasn't me.
That's when
I'm
people
starting to see the problem here, Becky.
You know my cousin Bill. He's in the military. What branch? Oh, he's in the military. Oh, he wears one of those purple outfits. We know him.
And you know what? Can I share something about purple people? Not about purple people, but so I have had 2 experiences, one with a state representative and one with a senator, both Democrats. And in both cases, I work well with them. I work well with them. And in both cases, they have told me that they have been questioned and ostracized by their supporters for working with me. I will genuinely tell you that my conservative constituents, supporters will come up to me and say, thank you for working with them on housing. Thank you for working bipartisan. I have never, ever, ever had any of my people come to me and say, why are you working with them? And so it's an interesting experience that I have had, that they are criticized for working with me. Like working with me could actually allow me to get reelected, or I have to assume that that's it. Literally, in one of them on their thread, one person said, you better shower after working with her because she's going to give you some disease.
What book section is that in?
She's got you have happiness and kindness disease, Becky.
Yeah,
I know. I am told I'm too nice.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
But you know what? On the off chance, it's sad that they would do that to one of their own, because like, wow, it seems like the people you're working with and you're both concerned about making lives better for Hoosiers.
Right. And they're looking at them going, look, we're Democrats. We want to get stuff done. Like in one of them, they wanted to put something in one of my bills that was moving through Family and Children. Unfortunately, it got recommitted to criminal code 3 days before the end of, the halfway part. And so we put hers in another bill from somebody else. But yeah, I mean, it's so I guess
I think the outsiders all view it as like bargaining chips. I think that's what the constituents like view them talking, like the fact that that their representative is talking to you. It's like, well, why aren't you blocking whatever she wants so that you can get what you want? And it's strange to think like that for me.
But that shouldn't be how you think. It's not.
Well, yes,
I
Tiffany.
would like to think as a legislator, you're like, well, how are we improving the lives of Hoosiers? And maybe I'm being Pollyanna-ish, but
But I think that's why, at least in that situation.
But they're put there by Hoosiers to improve our lives.
Yeah, but like the constituents are not. No, the constituents are not always right, though. They're not always respectful.
I don't want them to be flexing on people if it's going to ruin the lives of people. That's
94 to 96% of all legislation that is passed through the legislature is bipartisan. But the news doesn't talk about that.
Right. One thing I'm talking about is the Pacers 75-96 end of the third quarter. So that was
maybe
All right,
maybe your
John.
true future is sportscasting, John.
no, I don't think so. I get too busy watching the game and I forget to talk.
I mean, I'm okay with talking about basketball instead of politics.
Yeah, well, you know,
the Fever's home openers on Thursday.
I
gonna
thought they
be
were playing tonight.
show?
Really? Okay. I want to get to be the Fever's
right,
mascot.
all right.
I want to be the
that,
Fever's
yeah.
mascot. Is the Fever's mascot COVID cell? That's what I think they should have, like a little COVID thing, like
Thermometer.
yeah, thermometer or something like that. A vaccine shot. I don't know.
No, it's a giant mask. You just come out with like your
We
wings.
don't talk about vaccines. No.
All right. So this one more thing, and then we're going to let you go, Becky. What about Jen Pace winning her election and she's not alive anymore? What do you make of that?
Wow.
Because
I don't know who was responsible for that. Maybe Rob Kendall, but he told everybody to vote for the dead woman. But I don't know what his viewership is up in that area. I mean, at the end of the day, people vote for name recognition. That is what it comes down to. I mean, they knew her name, they voted for her, and I mean,
you think people willingly or they unknowingly voted?
Oh
for
yeah,
her?
I know people that have admitted that. They said they didn't know. Now, in fairness,
that's like pay attention,
John.
Well, no, I'm talking about because it took. I was the first person to find out. She had died a week before anyone found out. Her daughter posted on her Facebook that my mom suddenly passed away. Nobody knew. And then
when was that though?
It was it was March. I mean, it's yeah.
It was still April, all of April.
I know it. I'm
Right?
just saying that's it's and she ran before. She ran before, and I think she got like 28 votes. I've actually got an interview. I actually interviewed her and did a commercial.
Like, okay, why is anybody surprised that Biden won, like, by just staying indoors?
Nobody. His name starts with B. His name starts with B, and his Trump's name starts with T. That's what it was.
Like, he didn't even have to come out of his little, he probably had a sweet little man cave in a basement somewhere.
Yeah.
Didn't have
Well,
to do
that's what I'm
anything.
saying. It's like
It was like the best campaign of all time.
People aren't excited. Now, let's put it this way. I think she got almost 7,000 votes, and Andre Carson had 30,000. So you can imagine. And I think some people crossed over and voted that way. But we're going to have a caucus coming up, and I don't want to be a spoiler, but I got a candidate I'm lining up here that I think will make Andre Carson have to actually campaign. That's a teaser that I'm putting out there.
Oh, so they're going to have to caucus to fill that.
Yep, and all of that. Well, we don't know if the new PCs or if they're going to go with the old PCs. I think there's some shenanigans going on with this caucus.
Okay, but I want to share this going back to the dead person.
Mm-hmm.
In Indiana, I think it was 2 years ago, a central Indiana man who won a primary election for township board position while charged with killing his estranged wife, which, by the way, about a month ago, he was sentenced for murdering her. So Boone County had someone elected. In defense, it was very, very close to the election. I think he won by like 54 votes or such. But literally, this was major, major, major news. What he did to his ex-wife was horrific. It was very well known, and he won that township board position by his name.
That's stuff that's got to change. We got to get people excited to be involved.
That's you got to be kidding me.
Becky, yeah, I'm gonna look up that. Yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah,
Just Boone County man wins election after killing wife. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, was he in Lebanon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that, don't you? Yeah, it's a
Wait, Boone County's Lebanon?
Yeah, Lebanon and
White Town.
I don't ever get
is Frankfurt is Frankfurt in the Boone County still? Or is it?
Yes.
Okay,
That's
you got the hot dogs and the chips.
Oh no. Well, is that Clinton County?
I don't know.
Frankfurt's Clinton, I think.
It's your neighborhood. I can barely keep track of mine.
That's the librarian.
Okay, John, I have a big fundraiser.
Frankfurt's
Saturday night.
Clinton County.
What's that you say?
County seat.
Oh wait, we got to plug your chili thing.
Yes, big
Becky.
fundraiser Saturday night.
Let's see if I can make something. Saturday night it's going to be chill. You got chili cook-off thing.
The chili cook-off.
You know, I got
we have a doctor from
You
Carmel.
gotta get your
speaking.
chili boots on.
Chili boots.
Dr. Sean Benzinger. We're having a silent auction. We've got all kinds of massages, two $50 gift cards to Backstreet Barbecue in Lebanon being or it's not a raffle because that's gaming commission, but silent auction.
Yeah, we don't want to get you to get arrested on your.
I know. I follow the rules.
Let's see if I can find this.
We had
thing
it on
here.
at the very beginning.
Sounds good.
I know, but I got to find the picture of it now. Oh, look at that. I found it. That's unbelievable. Editing on the fly here. So we'll put it up there. Look at this. It's going to go over our people. Up there you go.
Family friendly, children welcome. Grab the QR code.
There's a lot going on here.
I had one of those ghost peppers. So we had a friend of ours plant some stuff in the garden and the tags got off of there. So I'm going down through there tasting them. And I'm thinking this orange one, it didn't even look hot. I took just a little nibble. Oh, I thought my insides were coming out. It was so bad. It was terrible, that ghost pepper. And I guess there's one that's hotter than that. So there you go.
Yeah.
Saturday, May.
$25 with all that stuff going on there. It's $25. $10 suggested donation.
But Tiffany, fork over the $2,500 and sponsor this thing. Come on, get in the game.
Yeah, John, I'm waiting for that check.
Time for chili.
You know what? I'm a businesswoman. You got to go big, you got to go small, and you got to get people middle options.
Yeah. Well,
all right. Well, thank you.
I'll bring some.
It should be free to get in, and then $20 a bowl of chili.
Yeah. Wait a second.
Well, it's
free to get in.
Chili.
Yeah. Charge $30 for the water. Give them a ghost pepper, and then charge $30 for the water.
John, I have 6 children. Like I'm.
Well, hey, a ghost pepper will slow down all kids.
What are the categories for chili? Is it like hottest, smoothest, beaniest?
It's gonna be. I am told it's gonna be everything from mild to hot. So we'll see.
No. But like the categories for winning, is it like vegetarian?
Oh, we're gonna have people vote on their favorite.
The Dr.
Tiffany, did you say beaniest?
Yeah. Some people like beanies.
Is there noodles in these chilies? Is there noodles?
Actually, I think my husband's gonna prepare noodles to go with.
Oh, good. Now Lisa,
I shouldn't have said that.
Lisa's gonna come up here and wring my neck for saying there's noodles in the chili.
Apparently, you know what? I did not grow up with noodles and chili. I'm from Cincinnati. It was,
Skyline
crackers. But my husband apparently Kentucky does noodles.
1 second, but we all know how this happened, right?
No.
Like somebody comes home from work and they're probably like, "Oh, mom made spaghetti." And they get the noodles and then they put the chili on the noodles. This is not a normal thing. This was something. This is not like, "Oh my God, you put your chocolate in my peanut butter." Like, no.
My husband thinks it's normal. So
good. I like him already. He's a good guy.
Oh gosh,
like that. So wow, we've conquered so many things tonight. We've talked noodles and chilies. We've solved lieutenant governor problems. We've talked about legislature things and all that.
What's on shelves?
It is time for us to say goodbye. Although Becky, I don't know if you want to do the conspiracy theory or not, but you can if you like. I mean, it's always an option. You're elected.
Lucy?
She was doing some pots or something. She was dead. The 10 kids I think have done her in. I think.
Wait, I'll give you a conspiracy theory.
Okay, well, hold on. We got a whole thing. Hold on.
It's not time yet. Sorry.
We got to do. We got an order here. It's chaos, but we have it. So
I'm sorry.
Let's play that. Whoops, I'm missing the thing here. So let's get. Oh, here it is. Here you go.
Hey, y'all, it's time for the conspiracy theory, so you better get your tinfoil hat out, and let's see what's going on this week.
Man, I almost didn't get that thing together there. That was, somebody stepped on it. But, all right. Now, since you're the guest, Becky, you can go first.
Okay. I don't think that Lucy is taking care of her 10 children or napping. I think she's actually with Micah Beckwith right now, working on his next book on prophylactic lieutenant governor theories.
That's pretty good right there. Well, Lucy, be proud of you. That's conspiracy fact.
That was good.
Yeah,
but Becky, did you say next book? Like, does he already have a book?
Oh no, I guess he had podcasts. Maybe Lucy's next book. Did Lucy write a book? I don't know.
Yeah, she should. on how to
Yeah,
survive
on a
10 kids.
podcast. We'll just go with podcast or his next live video from his car.
From his bully pulpit when he wins lieutenant governor. He can do it.
Yep.
So,
I'm calling that's what's gonna happen.
So who wants to go next? Who wants to
I'll
do
go
next?
next.
Okay. Go ahead, Tiffany.
Brad secretly really likes Micah Beckwith. He's almost paranoid. I mean, like, if you knew where Micah lived and you told me you drove by, I might believe you. You're paranoid.
Now, if I drove past Micah's house, I think I would like honk the horn or something dumb too. Like,
See,
I would just like,
no, but you said if
like,
you
Micah,
drove by, that
come
means
out
that you
here. Like,
no,
it'd be
driving
like-
by someone's house is never a good thing unless you're like 16 years old.
Yeah,
is that what you did?
Come Saturday and talk to my
I
husband
don't-
about
I'm
this.
not about. Listen, it takes me a lot to even get out of the house. Okay,
Unless it's a
So-
fish concert, then he's gone like
those books.
Mexico.
yeah.
So-
Speaking of which, this summer I'm gonna need some time off in July and August. So
You get no pay while you're.
Really?
It's not. There's no pay while you're gone.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh, are you committing yourself? Where are you going?
He's going to the
I mean, we'll
Democrat
see.
convention.
You can do live from the road. If you're going on the road, we want to do some live stuff. You want to see some wherever you're going.
I'm going up to Alpine Valley and then up in Wisconsin and then St. Louis and then back to Indy and then up to Michigan.
Watching some baseball games. Or you following
Is
the
that
fish?
is that the summer Antifa tour?
I don't know if that's what they're calling it this time. And it would be like Antifa, but ANTIPH.
Are they gonna
Oh,
give you, are
yeah,
they
the
gonna give you
fish.
your green tent?
Brad,
Yeah.
she's mean.
Great.
Yeah, right.
Man, Tiffany, you're
I know,
you're
Tiffany's on it
poor
today.
Brad.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's ready to go.
yeah, she's like she got
Wow.
her, she got her label. She came out fired. Came out fired.
That's why they call me the too nice state representative.
Yeah. All right, Brad, what you got? You got something?
I got Trump's new textbook he's going to actually come out with. Sorry, my
Oh,
cat's
the cat
back
is
there
like
now.
cat's on
Yeah.
Vivek's head.
I think every time like Tiffany starts yelling at me, I think he comes out to defend me. So it's always nice.
Is it a boy cat or a girl cat?
A boy.
Oh,
His
ooh,
name,
you want
yeah.
to fight. Ooh.
His name's
Cat?
Burley. Yeah. So
Bring it. Yeah.
no. So the Trump textbook is called "Never Fight Uphill, Me Boys." It's based on Robert E. Lee's famous quote that he apparently said at some point,
Ouch.
you know, during the Battle of Gettysburg, or about the Battle of Gettysburg. This is all from a Trump rally, so it's just going to be a textbook of history told by Trump at his rallies and put in chronological order, and then it's just going to be sold as is. And
Wow.
that is what's going to be the new curriculum for all schools in like about 25 years.
That doesn't sound like a conspiracy.
Yeah, that doesn't sound
What
like it.
would
All.
be wrong with- what would be
Becky,
wrong?
stop! No, like
He's gonna put it by the Bibles he's selling. Is that what? Does it go right next to
yeah.
it?
yeah, and
Well,
they'll still be
you know,
alive and they'll still be on
University-
trial.
I'm
Trump
sorry.
Wait,
That is a conspiracy. It is not really happening. Anybody watching this right now?
We got a banner up here.
Conspiracy.
Spiro reminded me. So
time to go back to Trump University.
yeah, that's right.
You can never go back, Tiffany. You can never go back.
TU. I'm sorry. TU.
TU.
They had
All
the
right.
best. They had the best basketball team. You know, just the best.
Well, they got Barron. He's like 6'12".
Dude,
I
that
mean,
kid
is.
Oh.
he's
Yeah.
tall. And then he tried
I
to go
hope
for
he.
the,
I hope he just lives his life. You know, like
he looks like he's got
I hope
he,
the best.
Like
He
for him.
looks
Hillary
like he's got
Clinton,
something to
just like
prove,
Hillary
though.
Clinton's daughter, and these kids
Yeah.
need to be able to live their lives.
Oh, you mean Hillary Clinton's daughter that got paid $900,000 for the Trump out of the Trump thing every year? Oh, you didn't know that? Or that the Trump Foundation?
I'm not saying
That's
they're
how
all
much they were
angels,
paying Hillary
you know.
Clinton's daughter to be in that $900,000. All
I
of
meant when she was a child. When she
think
was
she
an
was. She
actual
was, like,
child in the White
18.
House.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Not when they were.
Becky,
paying
you
her.
are a very nice. Yeah, you are a very nice woman.
Yeah, you are coming to
Well,
her
like-
defense that she
like-
fleeced us
Even
out
the
all that money.
librarians liked me. They didn't like what I did, but they liked me.
Well, they
Yeah,
just didn't
that's-
get to know you. They didn't get to know you. So,
I have
Uh,
a feisty side.
I'd say Becky is an open book. You could just,
Still-
anything you want to ask, and she'll call you back and all that stuff. So look,
I actually had a Democrat who works down at the State House after my election. He came up to me and said, I tell all the Democrats, you're the most dangerous kind of elected person. And I was like, what? And he said, because you just don't care if you get reelected, like you're actually in here well, he didn't say to make lives better, but he was actually a really nice guy. I think he was a Republican in disguise. But okay, John, do you have a conspiracy?
I actually have two. I alluded to it earlier. Spirit Airline is getting ready to be bought again by somebody. And so we'll see what happens because their stock, and they're about bankrupt. They're like $3 billion in debt, and it's awful. And the JetBlue thing went south, and then, but they're coming back on the stock. So that's my Ed Liptrap Spirit Airlines.
I miss Ed.
I know. Well, he's making a life for himself at Lowe's. He'll be it'll be called Ed's before too long.
Maybe he can substitute this summer when Brad's gone.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah, because I'll do like an on the road thing. It'll just be
we'll do Brad with the fish.
Evidently Brad's going someplace where there's no internet.
Where he swims with the fishes.
Flat Brad.
I'll talk to all the fish people about politics.
Oh yeah, we'll do peeps on the streets. We can do fish on the streets.
We'll do that kind of shit.
We'll do fish on the streets instead of peeps on the streets.
Are you traveling with the band?
Huh?
Are you
not like with them, but like
he's following him in an uncomfortable way, so he'll get a stalking charge.
How old are you?
40. I'll be 41. Like my birthday is gonna be right.
Tiffany's getting ready to give you you're too old for that crap. Look.
Oh my gosh, no! I was gonna say how much I admire that. No, but John, say what you said and say it louder.
Gotta have fun while you can, Tiffany.
Yeah, apparently that made Tiffany laugh. So where were we? Oh, I know where we were.
You have one more.
I got one more. Okay, this one is. I'm going to go Lucy. So this is how it works, Becky. It's really the uniparty here in Indiana. So the Republicans let the Democrats have Marion County, and then the Democrats let the Republicans have the rest.
Well, they didn't let them, but I would agree.
Oh no, it's they help them. I mean, it's just so obvious. I mean, and I do know some of the Democrats that because they have to have so few of them, they have to sit on every committee, and they really do try to get stuff done, and it's just like, you guys go sit in the back, Go talk to Becky. She might put something, and she might throw you.
Can I have one more quick conspiracy theory?
Oh, there's no limit on conspiracy theories.
So I was told, because I was going to run for Senate, I was going to primary Phil Boots before he retired. But when they redistricted, it wasn't the same district. I was told that when they drew the lines, that the Senate intentionally drew them so that every part of Zionsville except my subdivision was in one Senate district, and I was put in a different one so that I couldn't run for Senate.
Oh, that sounds about average for,
I'm going to throw it out as a conspiracy theory.
It's like,
I was told, I was like, hey, well, house it is.
Yeah, well, and then you get a campaign every 2 years.
It all worked out.
You're always on
worked out. I don't want to be in the Senate.
Could you imagine people looking in there, be like,
That's insane.
live? But what neighborhood?
Yeah,
I got phone calls questioning me. Are you going to challenge this person? Are you going to? I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Like, they knew something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well,
it's all good.
That's why she's got to have the fake house back there so they don't figure out where she lives.
Becky's rich.
Yeah, she's rich. She got a grand piano back there. Look at her go. I'm surprised one of her kids didn't play it during the show. It's like awesome. Got a dancing monkey on top. I don't know.
I can't even touch it. It's that fake.
Darn.
Touch it over your shoulder.
Look like Brad's people.
Touch the couch. Touch the couch.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've come to the end of this program. Becky Cash, we do appreciate you coming on, and thanks for being patient during the primaries when we had so many people that wanted to be on the show. It was fun.
1 second. Who's Yvonne? Yvonne KM.
Oh, Yvonne. Yeah.
Is that who is she?
Yeah, Yvonne Koch. She lives in Zionsville. She's awesome.
Okay. She's very involved.
You know what? You guys should have her come on and talk about education.
Oh,
Yvonne
well,
put yes that you'll do that. This
Yvonne,
woman is
yeah.
a
Put it in the
powerhouse.
comments there, Yvonne, because you're a loyal viewer. I see your comments all the time. And
Especially about all the special needs abuse and stuff. She like
the Brownsburg thing.
We didn't even talk about cameras in the classroom, Becky, and I really wanted to talk to you about that.
I'll come back.
Oh, look,
Okay.
we got an answer. So next week we got Becky. We were talking about Adam Wren, and he's coming on next week. So make sure you hop on here and ask him about hey, you like apples, and then tell him I won. How you like apples? So
Yeah, he actually threw all the women under the bus, but I'm going to confirm it was him before I confront him.
Okay, good.
All right.
He's on the Twitter there, so put him out there and we'll see if he shows up. Because if he doesn't, we're going to be talking about something.
I don't X.
you don't X or Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't go to Deer Creek or the Hoosier Dome either. So
all right. Well, thank you guys.
All right. Well, let's wind this thing up here. I know I got something here. Let's take the banner off and the hats off, and there we go. And we're good. And let's get down here. Hey, that was a good show. Thanks for coming on, everybody.
Thank you,
and
Becky.
we
Maybe
will.
we should get sponsors. Maybe this would be where you'd say thanks everybody for watching. I'd like to thank our sponsors who make this possible.
Yep, our sponsor Becky's chili thing this Saturday. Today that's our sponsor.
Maybe we need to ask people for
chili.
Yeah, we do need to ask people for sponsorship.
Plenty of candidates who didn't get elected.
I hear there's a couple of people running for lieutenant governor.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
We should sell them spots on the show.
Yeah, they need any politicians out there need to start, advertising on here. We got a lot of loyal viewers that will watch our show. So, well, we're all salesmen for our. We lost Becky. We're all salesmen for the show. So, you guys can get some sponsorship, then get it, and I'll make a little commercial for them and all that. So.
I'm going to get somebody to sponsor a paver patio in my backyard for the show.
Okay, you got to hold on a second. I don't have the ending on here, so talk amongst yourself for a second.
I think we should get a sponsors to do a paver patio in my backyard.
I don't want to say any of my ideas out loud yet. So,
well, we have
before the show.
Yeah,
Tiffany. Okay, there it is. I actually updated the ending because now I have the Chateau, I had the Chateau de Marseille studio in the snow. Now I have the springtime shot on there, and I did not download it. So it's downloading now. But yeah, I think it is time for us to try to get some sponsors. We need to get some sponsors. I need to get
What's your last name? Escape. Come adopt me.
Burley.
No, it's Barley.
Barley.
Like hops.
Barley.
Hops and barley.
Like I barely want to be here anymore.
Barley.
So
that is like a lady on Tosh.0 said that one time. And she said Barley. Sorry. I just realized Daniel Tosh is coming to Indianapolis in June, and I got tickets. So I'm going to that too.
Oh wow, look at you go.
I can't wait for that one.
It's funny. You're gonna go to
Are you gonna take your green tent?
That Soros
it depends,
your Soros tent. It's like it's like
I can't
I'm
even
sorry.
do that laugh.
It's gone bad. So I was gonna say something. Man, I can't remember.
Pearl Jam's coming. Yeah.
Let's see. Looks like the Pacers 88 to 112 with 4 minutes to go. So it looks like the Knicks are paying them back for the other night. So
oh my God! So what? So we're not winning.
No, we're losing 88 to 112.
My mom didn't know about Reggie Miller and like the Knicks and like that whole rivalry.
That was the greatest.
We grew up, but that's it. Like I grew up in Northwest. Like we were 5 seconds from Illinois, like that border. So
Chicago
it was
Bulls.
all Bulls. Yeah, it was all about Bulls, and it was Jordan time at that point. So honestly, the Pacers did not even register.
But that was the greatest comeback ever when Reggie dumped 12 points and 10 points in like 9 seconds or something like that.
It was so much fun. Like I showed her that one documentary though, the winning time, the 30 for 30, and it was that was a good one. So
yeah, I was at one of the games and it was just electric at Market Square. It was hopping and rocking, and You know, we got a good home crowd, but it looks like we're going to need them. Now it's 90 to 113.
Hero's going to bed. Yvonne's going to bed.
Yeah, it's time to go. We're all going to bed.
I'm
Bye,
glad
guys.
this-
All right. See ya later, alligators.